Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval Creed. Today we have a few updates to go over as well as a new event that was released. But before that, let's just head over to the Facebook page and see what we have in the most recent updates. Alright, so this is the update that came out on October 12th. We had a couple new ships come out. We have the event ships Akagi and Hornet come out. Which I was able to get Akagi now. I have played her a couple times. She's not as strong as Kaga, but she still has her place in the game. We will do our own video on her soon. I have been postponing it quite a bit, but that will be out relatively quickly. Hornet, we've already done a video on as well. Actually, a couple videos on her. She's pretty nice, but still is more of a torpedo ship than anything. We have an out of print sister ship, the Fuso Reach Star. For me, that is Surigao. Let's see here. Gloucester has been added to the pool, and then some changes to the French destroyers, as you can see there. Kuznetsov actually had a big change as well. Increased the fire chance from bombs from 98% to 225%. That actually makes her relatively good, and I played her a couple games. After this change, she's actually pretty decent. She's been able to one-shot battleships pretty much in some instances. Some changes to Navarino, Hangzhou, stuff like that. Um, Not really any big changes other than having Hornet and Akagi come out. Next, we have the update that came out October 19th. We have the event sister ship of Tashkent, which is the one with the green one with the corn, and a new sister ship of Albemarle available in the shop. I did pick up Albemarle's sister ship as well, and we will take a look at that in a moment. More changes to Hornet, as you can see here. So we have a little bit more heavy torpedo bomber firepower, as you can see, from 4 to 4 to 5 to 5. So now we drop 10 torpedoes. So that's definitely going to help her in battle as well. Robin also had some changes to her torpedo bombers. And Akagi has well, you can see read it here. Pretty much what it is it's the consumable that Robin got, where if you press it, it decreases the cooldown on all of your aircraft by a set amount. Um, However, it is also just as effective as the one on Robin. Unless you use it at the very beginning, there's not really a good time to use it unless all of your aircraft are on the deck and they are all reloading for some reason. Though by the time you land them all, the first squadrons you landed will already be ready. So again, unless you use it at the very beginning, it's not a very effective consumable, but you still have it. So cool. Um, Slightly decreased the air resistance on Germany's 420 millimeter primary battery. So these are the 16.5s, more flat ballistic. So, I mean, I didn't really have an issue with the 420s, but I mean, faster shells is never a bad thing. So that's nice. And then Halford also had a change. That is the Fletcher with the fighter, which was an event ship. She has increased health, which is also nice. It gives her a little bit more to be special versus Fletcher because she loses 5 torpedoes and a gun just to equip a catapult with a few planes, which honestly, at tier 9, you're going to want more firepower than a plane, which isn't going to do anything except spot. But that was the October 19th update. Last week's update was it doesn't have the date, but it was 6 days ago. Tomorrow there's another update, so we'll go over that one when we do. But there is a new event, and it is for a camo of the British carrier Illustrious. I have already renamed this sister ship for Formidable. It's a Halloween camo, and it's actually pretty nice, honestly. It doesn't really match the ship, or at least the planes don't, and I'll explain why in a second. But the ship itself is pretty nice. Prison packs are discounted. There's point packs. You could just buy those in the shop pretty easily. Changes to Illustrious, the same ship that is getting the camo. You can see the durability of aircraft has changed. You can see some changes here. So we have rank point packs. Actually, I think there's only one. I think these are just the packs itself. There's a Halloween pack and a couple more channel flags came out, but I like the flag I have, so I don't really care for those. There was a new special ornament that came out as well. I think I have that on Chester right now. It says French destroyers will be researchable after the update next week. So coming tomorrow, Everyone else who did not get the French destroyers in early access should be able to get Borrasque, Aigle, Vauquelin, and Le Terrible. Um, as I've mentioned a couple times before, I haven't shown any videos until the entire French tree destroyer line is out. But these destroyers are some of the strongest, if not the strongest in the game. I can just waltz into a pack of 4 battleships and pretty much come out on top, honestly. Yes, I play against bots a lot, but still, that's not something you can normally do with any destroyer. All right, and then we have one final thing to go over. We have a developer dialogue, and this is for a new German battleship, Berlichingen. I'm not sure how to say that, so I'm actually going to change that as soon as she's in the game. She's a tier 5, matchmaking 9.6. Now, if you remember, Rhineland, or H41, used to be a 9.6. And so she was just like an H39, but with 420 mil guns instead of the 406s. And a little bit more health, a little bit more secondary range. She went from 7.0 to 7.5. But overall, there wasn't a major change. She was actually dropped back down to a 9.0, and I think they're trying to come out with another 9.6 German battleship. But the way they're doing it is actually interesting. So, um, I'm just going to say 9.6 German BB. So the 9.6 BB is going to have 4 twin 480 mil guns. So those are the 19-inch guns that H42 can equip. Secondary armament, 14 twin 128 mil guns, or just over 5-inch guns. I think they're like 5.1s. That's pretty good firepower. It says there's no torpedo armament, so it's not like H39. And unlike most German battleships, her secondary armament firing range won't exceed the other battleship range. So it seems like her secondary battery is going to be kind of shorter. I don't know exactly by how much. H39 has 7.0 km secondaries, H41 has 7.5, and H42 has 8.0. So we're looking at anything from, I'm guessing, 6.5 and lower, maybe like an Eisenhower secondaries. She'll have a short range but accurate and fast reloading secondary. So if you get in close, they're going to do a lot of damage. But the issue with short range secondaries is that they come in at such a flat angle that the most of the time they just hit the belt armor and shatter. You really need those long range secondaries so they come in at an angle and hit the superstructure or the deck, and that's where they really do their damage. So yeah, she may have a lot of fast firing secondaries, but if they don't do any damage, they're not going to be useful at all. Unless they're like destroyers or cruisers. Even some cruisers are going to be able to block these. So it remains to be seen how good these secondaries will be. More extended outer ring AA range. So she's going to have better AA. So maybe she's a full AA German battleship. Interesting enough. We'll see. I wonder if the 128s are dual purpose. It doesn't say it, but it's maybe. It says her primary armaments will be the main method to deal damage to the enemies. So honestly, for me, secondaries and main guns. Well, for me in a game, German battleships is 50% main gun damage, 25% secondary damage, and 25% fire damage caused by said secondaries. So we're probably looking at a higher percentage of damage from the main guns versus the secondaries. After she's into the game, H42 will no longer be able to equip 480mm guns. So they're taking the 19-inch guns away from H42 and only giving her the 420 mils. They're giving her a second option for 420 mils, which will be the same one she already has, but they'll be adding a like a stock version of the 420s that you have to research past to get the 420s we already have now. Honestly, I don't really like the 420s. They seem really, really small at top tier, especially with only having 8 of them. That's why I really liked the 19-inch guns. It's just, they really make a difference. However, H42 is a 10.0 matchmaking battleship with 420 guns, but this new 9.6 matchmaking battleship will have the 19s, but she's also a 9.6. I specify that because she can be tossed into tier 10 and tier 9 games, all the way up until 8.5-ish. So having 19-inch guns at lower tier is actually going to make this ship pretty powerful. So I'm not really sure what to think about this battleship. She is going to have large guns that are going to do a ton of damage. I don't know anything about the reload or the gun turret rotation, but the rotation on H42 is terrible. But you have the secondaries to deal damage on other sides, so there's that. The secondaries on this ship, however, don't seem like they're going to be necessarily as strong as other ships. We'll have to see. I'm really curious about the secondary range. And then the AA as well. It says she's going to have more extended outer ring AA, but German battleships aren't really known for their AA power past, well, Bismarck, honestly. And so we'll see. But this is a new and upcoming 9.6 ships. Our battleship. I love my 9.6 battleships. We already have Joan of Arc. We have Yamato Refit. We have Sovetsky Soyuz. So we have a lot of other good ships in the game. Maybe this will be another one. All right, so let's go back to the game. All right, so before I show you the camos, let me remind myself to show you the new ornament that came out. So right now I do have it on Chester. It's like a little Halloween thing. I forget exactly what it does, actually. Let's take a look. I think it helps with gun reload. Can't bloody see. There we go. Decoration. What do we do? 8% gold, 13% more XP, 5% main gun cooldown, and HP plus 1500 in PvE only. So nice. We get main guns, reload quicker, we get more health, more gold, and more experience. So pretty nice. I'm trying to grind some lower tier ships right now for promotions, so that is why I currently have her on Chester. All right, now we have, let's go over the event ships that were released. So we already have Hornet, wherever she is. She's at the bottom. Here she is. So we've already had Hornet. She got a couple more torpedo bombers. So you can probably see here. Yep, we now have 5 and 5 torpedo bombers. The ship is okay. It's just the fact that once you use the B-25s, that's it. So you have to really use them sparingly. And then you're down to fighters and torpedo bombers for the rest of the game, which is fine. But honestly, not having dive bombers as a follow-up is not really that good. Surprisingly enough, though, we actually have a similar thing with a Kagi, which, like I said, we will be doing a video on pretty soon. This is the other version of Kaga, I guess you could say, but it's not really. So she's a big target. She's going to get citadeled a lot whenever she gets shot at. She has some pretty heavy-duty secondaries, but the majority of her damage is going to be torpedo bombers. But we don't really get that many. We have two options where we get either 12 torpedo bombers, 8 dive bombers, and 4 fighters, or we get 12 fighters, 8 torpedo bombers, and 8 dive bombers. So we're never going to get 4 squadrons of torpedo bombers like Kaga can. So it's always going to be less than Kaga. But you at least have the option to have a triple fighter squadron. I actually haven't used her like that, but I guess you could play Kagi as an air superiority carrier versus an offensive carrier. You can play her as a defensive one. Not really sure if that's really a Japanese playstyle, though. I've always played her with this one so far. What I have found is that the torpedo bombers do work amazing. Per usual, Japanese torpedo bombers are awesome. Dive bombers are very, very lackluster. They just don't do a lot of damage, and I feel like it's not even worth using them half the time. And when I'm using this squadron, or loadout, I only have 4 fighters. So even then, it's just not even used as AA bait. Chip's not terrible. I'm glad I got her. I've been staring at her in the game for years at this point, not been able to get her, and I'm glad I have. Now I just need to get all the other event ships that have been out of purchase. All right. Camos. We have one for Albemarle. Here we go. I've renamed it Liverpool. It's actually a pretty nice looking camo. I like the blues and greens and whites that the British ships have. The ship itself, I really don't like the look of, especially the main tower. I mentioned that when they were first coming out, but that is actually what the design looked like. But the camo does make it a little bit more appealing to the eye. And yeah, I mean, there's no other changes to the ship, just a nice little camo. I'm surprised the secondaries don't have camo, though. They kind of stand out a bit. All right, and one last thing before we hop into the game. Illustrious, show me your camo. this is the camo for the event right now. Like I said, very Halloweeny. Got a nice little, actually it's easier to see on this side here. A little haunted house. It's actually quite nice. It doesn't really, like I said, it's not a real camo, but for the game itself, it's okay. And on the ship, it's pretty nice, all right. The ship itself, or let me start that. The planes also look like bats, which is pretty cool. I haven't used the ship with this camo yet, so I don't know if there's any other special effects other than just this, but I kind of like it, not gonna lie. And I don't think they've actually had a Halloween camo before. They have Christmas camos. There's like 2 or 3 of them. And we've gotten ornaments during Halloween events, but nothing like a camo. So this is nice. All right. Now that I've wasted, how long? 15 minutes of your time, let's actually do the event, or at least try to, and I'll explain why in a moment. But before that, we're going to use Yamato, or my Musashi, because it's a secondary build. So what we're going to be going up against is a pretty low health UFO. We have a Flying Dutchman. We have one of the illustriouses, the camo ones, the Formidable, and a few other Louis the 14th ships, I'm pretty sure, or 16th, I don't remember. Regardless, it's not that hard of a level. What's interesting though is that they added a weather pattern to this mission. It's actually snowing in the game, which is pretty cool. However, the last time I played it, it slowed down my game so hard, lag was just almost unbearable. So hopefully that doesn't happen today. But we have Yamato for 2 reasons, or at least I should say a secondary Yamato for 2 reasons. Main guns because they have pretty fast shell velocity and they can deal a lot of damage at the UFO because we need to stay at range. And secondaries because Flying Dutchman, just the best way to take her down is secondaries. I was going to use Illinois, but I figured I'd use a ship that we found in the normal tech tree just to show you that anyone can do this mission without having a special ship. So let's toss her in and see what we can do. And I'm not going to go with a team because you don't really need to. Let's just hop right in. All right, so Formidable, UFO, Ghost, Louis the 16th. My mistake. And then we also have 2 of the new British Gloucesters, which are the high velocity shell anti-air ships. We have Midway on our side, 2 Orions, a North Carolina, and a Massachusetts. You can see it's snowing. It's really, really nice, actually. I do like this, and it's a new map, kind of. They always come out with new maps for the challenges. I wish they would come out with new maps for the actual game, though. We always see the same ones over and over again. I should probably start moving. There we go. But we're going to start moving this way. But yeah, we have... I mean, this is the event. It's just an everyday event, so you just have to do this every day. You get a certain amount of points, and yeah, you will end up getting the camo. We're actually all going to the right side, so let's follow along. Don't want to be by myself. Now, Yamato is not one of the stronger AA ships, but it is also in tier 8 carrier, so it's not like a tier 10 carrier, which is nice. Right? So Flying Dutchman has 500,000 health. UFO only has 375,000 health. So they're not terrible. One thing about this new map, though, is that it's actually kind of hard to see where in the water these ships are. Like, for example, here. There's like no reflection or anything like that. So it's kind of hard to see where to aim. But I was able to beat it without an issue. Though I did beat this with Rhode Island the first time. So we'll see if I can do it with Yamato. But you can see just how much lag you get from this mission. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. And we're going to try and hit this UFO in a second. But yeah, this is how I've had it the entire time. Alright, so let's send out our first few shots here. We're going to ignore everyone except the UFO. Where is the carrier? There it is. So you can see her in the background there. Like I said, she's a tier 8 carrier. Really not that much to worry about. You can still send a few shells out towards her, though. Maybe we'll get lucky and just finish her off right off the bat. Let's put a plane in the air while we're at it. And we have some pretty strong AA ships as well, including this Massachusetts and 2 Orions, which are just Montanas, which are pretty nice. Right, I don't think we hit that. Oh, oh no, we did hit the carrier. Oh, jeez, the lag. All right. I got my fire somehow. We're gonna repair that. Fire some more shells towards this UFO. Like I said, I really like the snow, but I think it just slows down my computer or my phone too much. Actually try and alter the graphics here real quick. Alright, so I lowered my graphics a little bit. And it's a little bit better. Not terribly, though. But at least I can play the mission. Oh, I see how we got on fire. We're in secondary range of UFO. I'm dumb. Alright. Well, we're just going to keep slapping this UFO here. I don't mind taking a little bit of damage. I do have health buffs and speed buffs, so I'll be fine without that. And North Carolina looks like she's going to be taking up the brunt of the damage anyways, as she goes down immediately, actually. We are taking a little bit more damage than I would prefer, and not dishing out it or the damage nearly fast enough. Right, so we're just gonna kite away a little bit and repair when we can. Jesus, it's still so laggy. Alright, try dropping my graphics even more. I don't know if it did anything though, it doesn't seem like it did. Alright, enough of the fires. Let's go. We got the UFO down to about half health now at least though, so that's nice. Once we finish her off, everything else is pretty much a walk in the park. So let's swing around a little bit, get our front turrets on target. Remember, the force field on UFO stops all high explosive shells from actually doing damage, so you need to use armor piercing on her. And yeah, just kind of keep her at range and don't get caught by secondaries, like I did. But last time I played this, she actually stayed in the background a lot, and she didn't really come forward like she is now. So she has a couple different attack patterns. And she's now below 100,000, so we should be able to finish her off here pretty soon, in the next 2 or 3 salvos. And it looks like one of the Klaus sisters is now down. I should really rename that, actually. Let's pop a heal. Oh, now UFO's healing now as well. But you can see how fast velocity shells are going to be your best friend here. So Russian battleships, Japanese battleships, if you're okay with them, British and American as well, but honestly, they have slower shell velocities. It makes it a little bit more difficult for me to land hits. And there's the lag again. Would really like to actually play the game. Like I said, my graphics are at the lowest setting right now, so I really can't do much more than this. Let me see if I can mess with them a little bit more. Alright, drop the water quality to like 0. The game looks terrible now, but maybe it'll at least let me play the game. A little bit better. We're almost done with the UFO. She has about 20,000 health left. And then we'll be able to finish off all the other ships relatively quickly. The Flying Dutchman that is ever so slowly getting closer to me is not really that much of a threat. My secondaries will be able to take care of that. Oh, 92 health, come on. Maybe one of my other teammates can help finish that off. Alright, so my secondaries are now shooting the Ghost, or the Flying Dutchman, which is fine because it's free damage right there. And, yes, I forgot about this. UFO has some weird thing where she's nigh invincible when she gets... Oh, wow, I'm the last one alive. When she gets to really low health, she will soak up so many salvos when she's on low health and not die. I actually thought they fixed this at this point. Yeah, see, can't finish her off even though you should be able to. And let's try again. Nope. Still, see, I don't know what is going on. This happened in my last game as well. And actually, I'm still at least doing damage. Last time I did it, I was hitting her with Rhode Island with all 15 18-inch shells, and it was doing no damage, even though they were full pens. And I'm hitting the ship. You can see I'm hitting the ship. Just not doing anything. 177 damage. And I can't use high explosive to burn her because fires don't do anything. So, yeah, I'm not really a big fan of this mission right now, especially the fact that it makes me lower my graphics to be able to actually even play it, and having a invincible UFO. Look at that, full 9 pens, no damage. I don't know what to... I guess I got lucky last time and just was able to finish it off, but this is not cool. No one enjoys beating an invincible ship. Full 9 pens, no damage. So, yeah, I'm just wasting my shells at this point because I can't sink this ship, even though she's the strongest ship in this mission. So we're just going to send some shells towards Dutchman over here, even though it's really not going to do much. Let's see if we can take out the carrier at least. Though I don't know if she would have any planes left at this point. British carriers don't really carry that many planes, and we had a lot of high-tier AA battleships on our side. Though it looks like she still has some fighters. Can't even see my shells. Alright, let's try UFO one more time. Now that we have another angle on her. I sank her last time while she was healing. I was able to do enough damage. Nope, 9 pens, no damage. She was healing and I was able to catch her and do enough damage to sink her. Some more lead on Formidable. Let's try again. And we're just going to take more damage from UFO because I can't sink her. Oh, she's actually ramming another ship. And the enemy sank her. Cool. Alright, I'll take that. Not going to complain about that. But the fact that the enemy has to sink the ship versus, the player, it's kind of dumb. Alright, well, let's try and finish off the carrier now. I don't know if she has any aircraft, but I'm not going to take that... Oh, she's turning. Cool. That risk, because I have no more heals left. Now we just have to play defensively and kite, because we have no heals. What are the other ships doing? Louis the 16th's over there, another one's over there. Really don't know how I'm going to deal with those right now. Ooh, Citadel on Formidable. See if we can just finish her off real quick. Though honestly, we probably could choose something that's actually dangerous. Yeah, I don't think we're going to win this, because I'm just going to take too much overpen damage, and this Dutchman's going to get really close here and start sending fires. But we're still gonna do our best here. Might as well just finish off this carrier for the kill. Actually, you know what? We should actually probably focus on the Dutchman at this point. Alright, so there goes Formidable. And we're going to switch over to High Explosive and a Yamato. Yes, I said that. And try and burn down this Dutchman so we can actually keep the Louis at range, or at least nose into them, and not have to worry about being set on fire every 3 seconds by this Dutchman. We're going to turn our guns around and go around this big island now. We got one fire. I even missed a shot. That's actually funny. You can see the secondaries coming in. I'm not too worried about the Louis. This one's kind of concerning because it'll have my broadside in a second, but I'll be behind the island relatively quickly. So I'm hoping I'll be alright. Yeah, we're just going to play the waiting game of burning down the Dutchman. She's just out of my secondary range as well, unfortunately, so honestly could have brought a better ship, but we're fine the way we are right now. I'm going to slow down a bit so we can have a little bit more time on target. Now we have all 3 of our turrets back. I didn't nearly do anything that shot though, surprisingly enough. Alright, she's turning back towards me. Time to go. Ooh, the Glucester's here. Let's finish you off real quick. She's just a Minotaur in a different skin, so we should be able to finish her off with one shot. Right, let's keep going. Switch back to High Explosive here. Lost sight of her, but she's gone anyways. Okay, and now we have the island between us and the 2 Louis. So now we can just sit here and start smacking the Dutchman here with High Explosive again. She is below half health, so that's nice. I'm really not doing any damage though, nor am I setting any fires, unfortunately, which I kind of need to. Bring our fighters in. We don't really need them right now. Thank you. That was better. We even set a fire. The fires do a lot of damage on the Dutchman. That's why I'm using High Explosive here. Ooh, she's in secondary range again. Got another fire. We're gonna burn her for that one, unfortunately. Right as she was getting around the corner too. Alright, let's switch. Yeah, we missed that one. Switching to armor piercing because I feel like we're gonna have to tangle with this Louis here in a second. But let's try and get out of here. I'm going to pause the video until we get to a better spot because I feel like there's going to be a big lag point here in a minute. Alright, well I said that and then the ghost turned on a dime and came around the corner again. But our repair is almost off cooldown, so even if we are set on fire we should be okay. We're going to run like hell now though because she's kind of too close for me. She is down to 135k. Secondaries are opening up on her. I have all of my guns opening up on her as well. This is a point where like a German battleship would be really good. Like, that was no damage, hello. But Yamato can still do it. Alright, so she's actually turning away now. So let's slow down. The longer we keep the island between us and these Louis the 16th, the better. Again, pretty much no damage. Alright, we're okay. I think we're going to turn around and bow tank these Louis the 16ths. Because giving our kiting position is actually going to open up my citadel a lot more than I need to. Alright, and she's down to 20k. Let's see if we can finish off with this next volley here. I'm actually going to switch over to armor piercing immediately. She's still going to burn down a bit, I think. Yep, about 7k. Just send one last parting salvo, but I doubt it'll actually reach her before she sinks. Oh, she goes. Alright, so the Louis are over there. I'm going to turn around here in a second. Alright, so we're kind of in a better position. Don't really know if I should be doing this, honestly. But we're going to try and bow tank these Louis and just try and citadel them and sink them. Let's return our fighters. I'm worried about fires, though. And actually, I thought they were going to be giving me broadside, so this is actually a terrible position right now. But let's stop. Ooh, we knocked out the main gun. Or at least the front one, so she can't actually do anything to me right now. That's nice. The secondaries is what I'm honestly concerned about. And there they go, they start opening up. Let's see if we can do something to this Louis over here. Pretty good damage. Now let's try and do a drive-by, honestly, at this point. Because if they're just going to bow in, neither of us are going to do anything to each other. But their secondaries are going to hurt a lot more than mine. Yeah, I destroyed the front gun up here. The rear ship still has their front gun, but that's fine. Let's focus secondaries on the one. There we go, fire one. Alright, so we got a lot of damage on that one. Let's repair the fires. Let's see if we can do anything to this one. And then run like hell again. Because we have no health. I'm going to try and do... Ooh, actually, we're out-turning our turrets. Nope, now I'm in a point of disadvantage because I can't use my front guns. Alright. Well, I think we just lost the game at this point. But we're still going to try and take down at least one of them before we burn to death. Two overpens for 3k? Really? That's it? Alright, let's get out of secondary range, put some distance between us, and put this fire out as soon as we can. Though I don't think we're going to survive much longer. Gonna risk it to use the front turrets. Alright, so we got one. We're down to 3,000 health, though. Alright, so now it's a game of what now? And I think I'm going to have to try and burn down the ship. So back to the high explosive. Pen for no damage, of course it is. Alright, so let's see if we can get some fires on her. This is a very close match. Did not expect it to be this close. Let's put our fighters back in the air. Got a fire. Awesome. And 7 pens, actually. That was pretty nice. Alright, let's rotate our turrets around here. And well, I just noticed we only have about 3.5 minutes left. I don't think I'll be able to burn the ship down quicker than that. Oh, but she's now showing broadside. Maybe we can actually do something with armor piercing. As long as I can keep her sighted, she keeps disappearing behind this island. Three pens, no damage, or no fire. But we do have a broadside. Ooh, that might... Oh, come on. Well, we ended up losing, even though we probably could have won that. But let's see how we did. 1,067,996,000 damage. 4 ships sunk, 357 shell hits, 15 aircraft shot down, 3 citadels, 9 fires, 4 modules destroyed, 223 secondary hits, 24,100 base XP, 1,687 free XP. And we did a ton of damage with our armor piercing, pretty good chunk in our high explosive. Even fires did over 200,000 damage. But yeah, I would have been able to do a lot more had that UFO not had the invincible aspect of her, and actually went down when I shot her the first 10 times when she was down to about 100 health. So it's kind of frustrating. At points, I will not be doing this mission again. I will have to redo all my graphics now because the game looks terrible. 1 second. There we go. Back to the beautiful game. So yeah, I probably could have beat that had the UFO, like not been a total jerk and decided not to die. But as long as you get the UFO out of the way, all the other ships should go down pretty quick. The Louis the 16ths are just as strong as ever, but I mean, there's only 2 of them at least. The Glow Sisters, they have fast shells, but they're like cruisers. So you can just one-shot those. The Dutchman, she sets you with the occasional fire and does damage, but as long as you can burn her and use secondaries on her, she will go down relatively easily. I'm not going to say fast because she has so much health, but she will go down easily. And the Formidable, yes, she is a carrier, but she's also a tier 8 carrier with not a lot of aircraft. How much aircraft does she get? Something says like 80 or something. Maybe less than that. 70? 72. So 72 planes. So really not that many planes. So if you stay with your team and they shoot down the aircraft, then you'll be fine. Or if you play a ship yourself that has a ton of anti-aircraft defense power, you'll be fine from the carrier. It's really just that UFO. And if you just soak up so much damage, there's only so much you can do. So with that, I will wrap up today. Like and subscribe for further content, and join me next time while we go over the event ship Akagi. So again, thank you so much and take care.